Take care. Thank you. Take care. And all of that. Kobe, thoughts on Katarina here? I want to get right into it. So thoughts on Katarina.
We'll just jump straight to the shifter. Now, previously, when we saw them try and just shove Katarina in, it was really felt forced. This time around, they did everything. They laid the groundwork for this Katarina to shine. First of all, they're on red side. They save Katarina till later. They wait until Impulse have locked in. They have no point-and-click lockdown for Katarina. They have a couple of ways that they can sort of disengage. But already Dignitas have what you want. These crazy front line of Sion and Zach, who their whole job is to just jump in and create chaos. That's all Zach does. He jumps in from a very long range, bounces around in circles, gets everybody sort of low and split up, and Katarina can clean up very easily. You knew when you saw these team comps that they would win if it went late easily. And after seeing the very beginning of this game and the way the laning phase went, really felt like Dignitas had this one in the bag.
And Zyrene, we've touched on already today the idea of these really tanky comps, these huge frontliners. Dignitas went with it, and it seems like more often than not, those compositions are coming out on top.
Yeah, you really have to draft against them, right? Like a LeBlanc is not going to burst down a Sion and deal with a Zac at the same time that it has to blow up a Katarina and a Fed Lucian, right? There's no way that they're going to get through all these different people. And the fact that there's so many damage soakers with CC to peel for the Katarina just means it's a well-rounded comp from Dignitas. But it's very kind of came together at last second. Like saving that last pick was absolutely crucial because they saw the situation that they could put it in. Also the way they played it, right? Shifter, he got first blood gold. And they were like, okay, we're gonna start getting this Katarina fed. Didn't do it exactly the way. Like there were some kills that they could have given over to.
He could have had a lot more kills.
He could have had more kills. But that just speaks to the strength of the comp. That he could have had more kills and could have been even more snowballed than that, and they still couldn't deal with it the way that they had played it out on Dignitas' side with giving him some assists instead of kills.
Yeah, the true time where Cinderhulk shines is as you start getting towards the late game. The bonus HP, 25%. Zach, with just purely from build, even though he's so far behind in CS, behind Rush, you know, Rek'Sai can jump around the map and farm really hard early. If the early game goes as it did, you know that they were going to get outscaled.
Yeah, and you talked about CS there. Sion was up 100 CS. Gamsu up 100 CS over Impact.
Sion doesn't even need Cinderhulk. He's got his own passive. He gets free health when he kills things.
Well, and that's the thing with this new Cinderhulk patch, right? It seems to be a little bit of a detriment to Team Impulse, as Rush doesn't favor these tanky champions. They don't necessarily put tanky champions in the top lane either. We do see impact on Maokai occasionally, but Rumble, Morgana, like he doesn't necessarily favor a pick like Sion, and they were first pick. They had the ability to take the Sion or the Zac or take or they ban Sedge themselves, right, on blue side. They're banning away these big picks. So is this an adjustment they're going to need to make going into playoffs to actually be able to pick up these heavy frontline compositions?
Or be able to have their AD carry pick up Kog'Maw, because I know he's a Kog'Maw player, right? You can just make a busty comp because they've played like Lulu top, Morgana top, then Lulu mid, Kog'Maw AD carry. Like if you can't run a tank comp yourself, just run tank busters and draft that way.
Yeah, and then lastly, just wanted to point out, we finally got to see a Lgends Echo today. We were a little worried we didn't get to see it. Not that it made much of a difference in the game, but it was at least fun to see. I do want to pull up the standings with only 5 games remaining for the spring split regular season. We're going to pull up those standings to set the stage for our final day of action. Now, locked into first place, it's Team Solo Mid. Then guaranteed a playoff berth, it's CLG in second, Cloud9 in third, and Team Impulse in fourth. There are 2 playoff spots still up for grabs and can go to Gravity and Team 8, who are sharing fifth, or Team Liquid, who are 1 game back in 7th. Rounding out our standings, it's Team Dignitas and Winterfox once again tied for 8th place, with Coast sitting in 10th. So as we look at this playoff picture, there's still a lot of movement to be had. 3 teams fighting to just get into the playoffs, as well as now kind of a race on that top end of the table, given this loss here for Team Impulse.
Yeah, I'm happy with the fact that this last day has so much to do with the standings. Just 1 game apart from so many things. Like Gravity could still get 4th place. There's hope. There's hope. They could also still end up really low down the table. Like Liquid, after their loss today, they could end up in that 7th place spot. And actually, frankly, if they lose their game, they're in 7th. If they win their game, they tie break.
Best they do is tie break.
That's the important thing. Tiebreakers aplenty. possible for tomorrow.
Right, definitely a possibility to have some tiebreakers. So looking at tomorrow's matches, we're going to be starting with Winter Fox taking on Coast, followed by a Week 1 rematch between Cloud9 and Team Solo Mid. Then a bit later, Gravity will face off against Team 8 in a battle for 5th place. And in our final regularly scheduled match, it's CLG versus TIP. If there are any tiebreakers at the end of our regularly scheduled matches, we will be bringing those to you immediately following our last game of the day. So be sure to stock up on snacks and clear your schedule because you won't want to miss any of the action. That all gets underway tomorrow at noon Pacific time, 8 p.m. Central European time. Now for myself, the casters, and the entire broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.